This is Cam Kelly, joined once again by Brent Pope, and this is Devil Talk. It's part 2 of our Paul Ragan special. We are catching up with the owner and CEO of the Cardiff Devils. Now, last time we left it with you saying that on every level, the Cardiff Devils are in a stronger position now than it as a company was 18 months ago. Now, if we tie in the new stadium strategies, restructuring of staff, and the on-ice team as well, when do you project that you will be able to look at all three combined and go, well, everything's just fine? 3 years. 3 years?
I always said it was going to be 3 years. Year one was very much, which was last year for me, was very much a case of we were thrown straight into a tender with the ice rink, which we didn't win, as everybody knows. It was a case of running a business that, quite frankly, until you get into the season, you don't really know what the revenue streams are going to be. Mm-hmm. It wasn't in a great place, the business. And, we all know what the consequences were by going through that season. This year, I know exactly what the costs are, and I will make changes aggressively or not, if the case may need it, mm-hmm. to ensure that we stay on track. The business will still lose money this year, but I'm happy with losses as long as I know what those losses are in terms of covering those losses. Yep. Next season is when we break even, and that's where I expect it to be. But that will only happen if we are building momentum in terms of what we do off the ice. And that's my issue. I felt that we were extremely good in certain areas, but we're not gaining momentum in the areas that count. And to be honest, that's really the revenue generating areas that we need to be far better at and engaging, as I said earlier, with our sponsors in the commercial community.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, no matter how passionate you are, you don't get into any kind of business to lose money. You get into business to make money, and you've got a plan to do so. Yeah. And it doesn't seem like it's affecting the on-ice performance either.
No, I think that if you look at the crowd so far, the thing about 12 months worth of experience and knowledge for Paul being in this particular business is that the projection of what our crowds would be is about on par. In fact, maybe we're a little bit ahead of the game. So the month of September, we had a little bit of a freakish, weekend last weekend. I know we joke about it at the start of the show, but we're a small to medium-sized business that depends on, an extra few hundred people coming through the doors, and that's helpful for our bottom line. And when it's nice weather out like it was at the end of September, it's understandable that maybe people aren't thinking ice hockey. But now that we come into the winter months now and we start thinking about what are we going to do on our Sunday and our Saturday evenings, then the Cardiff Devils, the best family night out experience in the city, we think, hopefully is the attractive option that we want people to take. And we've got a product on the ice. It's worthy to come and commit and to support. It's here. It's our really our national team for ice hockey, and we're playing in top flight. We tied top of the league last year. We've got a great product again. It's exciting. Yes, we have to work through some challenges in the back room to make sure that things are going to continue to be sustainable going forward. But I think we're in that place. It's just about making a key decision now and just probably retooling a little bit and regearing, our machine as we move forward.
How will your plans be affected if Paul does indeed become the CEO of Cardiff City Football Club, which the rumours are suggesting at the moment?
Yeah, well, it's the first time I've heard it, Cam.
Well, you mentioned...
Well, apart from various other places. Yes. I've had phone calls from...
I only read it yesterday because we were looking on, obviously, Wales Online, just having a look at seeing what the story was about our news this week. And then I saw that news about Gethin Jenkins and was aware of it. But, you caught me off guard there with Paul. I hope it's not the case. I'll be honest with you, folks. I hope it's not the case.
I knew nothing about it. I'm so engrossed in Cardiff Devils. I only found out this morning. Apparently it happened yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, I think so.
Someone's mentioning your name in relation to the job. Well, let me warn you then. If you've got no plans to go to Cardiff City, let me warn you one thing, right? About 6 months before anyone from what is now Capital FM South Wales contacted me to come and do the job, all the websites were stating that I'd already accepted it and I hadn't spoken to anyone here. Be very careful. It happened 6 months later. I got the phone call and the job fell into place. And it was the first I'd heard of it through hearsay. Yeah. These things happen.
Well, we need to get our crowds up 15-20%. And once we've done that, we're making money. Who knows? Maybe I'll get some silver offer you can't refuse. But at the end of the day, look, my commitment is to Cardiff Devils. That's what I've always said. I've got a 3-year job here to do. We're halfway through it. We get to that new stadium, which has always been the ambition. And, when we talk about break even at the moment, we're talking about 250, 300 extra people a week coming into the club. That's not a lot to achieve. And if our activity is correct and streamlined in the way it needs to be, and we're doing the right things and we're doing them sharply and dynamically and following things through in the way that we should, there's no reason we won't achieve those goals. So, they're not unrealistic targets for us to get to. And, taking the business through into, it's my first 18 months in sport. I've learned a huge amount. You understand there are big differences, but there are no differences in terms of making money. It's pretty straightforward, and we have to focus on the right things. And getting into the new stadium has always been, we've been handicapped. The club's been handicapped for 6 or 7 years now with a blue tent, with no transport links, with, look at last season, Brent and I were talking about it before, that, that run that we had, all the hype around the world record, all the stuff that went on, we'd have sold out week in, week out. Not just a couple of sellouts. We'd have sold out every week if we'd have had, 50,000 people walking past our front door every Saturday or Sunday afternoon. And we've lost all that. We've lost all that, been taken away from us and put somewhere else. So my problem is I'm very passionate about things, and sometimes I probably say too much, but I'm about winning. I'm about being successful. And for me, I'm not a quitter, and I'm not going to walk away until we've done the right job here.
Right. It is well documented that you are quite a football fan. What was the biggest shock from a football fan's point of view coming into the world of ice hockey?
I mean, the one thing I didn't realise was how fit these guys are when you first come in, and they will stand up and be fitter than probably any other sportsman that I've seen. And that's been proven by some of the stuff that's gone on in the gym where we've had sort of competitions and things going on. They're very, very fit guys, and they have to be because of the speed. I mean, they're going out. It's a different sport. They're sprinting on ice effectively for 2-3 minutes at a time, getting hits. So it's a bit of boxing and sprinting at the same time, and then coming off, getting their breath, and then they're back on again. This isn't a case of just hiding in the corner or pass the ball across the back floor. I'm not saying football's not exciting, but there's nowhere to hide here. It's high impact all the time, constant for the whole, all 3 periods. And that for me is what, and of course you're about 3 inches from the action, which of course makes it even more exciting if you want to go that close to the glass, of course.
Well, you yourself know that you've been kind of bitten by the Cardiff Devils bug over the last couple of years, and you tell us why you have been.
Do you know, the first time I came down, it was through work, actually, because obviously we're the official station of the Cardiff Devils, Capital FM, the station that I work for. And I came down that first night, absolutely hooked. I just thought it's just a brilliant night that's very undersold, very underrated, and not publicly known enough. The game is just electric. It's so fast. It's so good. Yeah, there's something brilliant about it. And everyone who I've taken to the ice hockey, always, if they come and see me from another part of the country, they'll always try and make it and coincide it with a weekend that the Cardiff Devils are playing at home. So there you go.
It's actually, you make a really good point there with regards to the atmosphere in our blue tent. I mean, even though we're all very disappointed with where we're at and what we've got, we can only look forward. We can't change what's gone on before, and it's so important going forward that when we do get into this nice shiny place that we've all waited 7 years for, 8 years for, we don't get to a situation where we think, do you know what? It's not as good as how it used to be. Yeah. And that will happen if we don't do the right things now, because we need the crowds to grow and grow. I mean, they talk about, the stadium factor will give you a 40% increase. Now, I remember going down to Ninian Park watching Cardiff play with 12, 13,000, 14,000 most weeks. Yeah. Now they're getting almost double that. Now, okay, is that just because of a new stadium? Well, actually, a lot of it is to do with a new facility. We're quite fickle as human beings over here, and we do like to go to nice places and have a meal before the game or during the game, or have a drink in a bar that you haven't got to put 4 jumpers on to stand around in. All of that is stuff that we need to aspire to, but it starts here now today as we're building that business going forward.
We've been waiting for someone to be able to back us, and whether people realize it or not, our biggest sponsor is Paul Ragan and his family. Because he believes in the Cardiff Devils and he wants to see it go forward. And we're waiting for someone to provide the leadership and being able to make the tough, difficult decisions, and hopefully, like we said, to get ourselves that new arena. It's not easy. No one said that it ever would be, but the Cardiff Devils are alive and well after 25 years, and I have every confidence they will continue to be. So we just need to, as we have so often before, pull together and support what we all believe in and care about in the best ways and most effective ways, and with probably a smarter, more efficient approach, and we'll be fine.
Final message from Paul Ragan, owner and CEO of the Cardiff Devils, to the Cardiff Devil fans.
Every fan, bring a friend.
Okay.
Problem solved.
Cha-ching. Okay, guys, thank you so much for coming in.
Fantastic.
It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Great.
And good luck to the Cardiff Devils for the rest of the season.